Today we're going to be discussing Service Bulletin number L1977, replacing a starter protector on mixed flow or cross flow dryers. And this service bulletin was necessary due to the supplier's starter protectors no longer being available and being replaced with new models. For years, Suka's been using starter protectors shown in image 2, J52424, and it had the auxiliary contact that mounted on the side. That is no longer available and has been replaced by protector shown in image 4, J52425, and it uses a different auxiliary contact. So we want you to be aware of that. People have been replacing starter protectors and then being upset that their auxiliary contact does not work on the new one. And then on the same vein, the old starter protector shown in image 6 was replaced by the one in image 8 during 2020. That breaker and auxiliary contact was only used for a period of time in 2020 and was replaced in November by one of two breakers, that shown in image 10 and image 11. You need to be aware of this in case you have differences in the auxiliary contacts that are required for those. If you have the one shown in image 8, you need auxiliary contact J52351 shown in image 9. If you end up replacing it with the one shown in image 10 or 11, you can still use the auxiliary contact shown in image 7, J5263. So we know this can be confusing, so our recommendation would be that you keep a copy of this service bulletin in your service vehicle. It does show pictures and an explanation and timeline on each of the different versions, so if you have any questions, it would be best if you just kept this in your vehicle and referred to it as needed. I'm just going to show you today how to put an auxiliary contact in the new style breaker and also set the dials. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take the two screws loose to take the cover off. Okay, you're going to want to take this auxiliary contact, and it's going to fit in the outside here, and it's simply going to snap in place. If you need to take it out, there's a tab, you can just pop it back out. And so wiring wise, we're going to use the top and bottom terminals, because that's when we want this to be normally closed when the circuit is made. So there we know we're going to use the top and bottom. That's going to be your motor overload circuit. So once you have that installed, there's one other item you need to do, is we got to get the wiring out of there. If you notice inside the cover, there's a little couple notches. So you'll just take that with your snips, snip that out. Now you have a spot for your wires to exit. Then you simply put that back on, tighten your screws down. The next item you have to do is you'll notice the three dials on here. You're going to want to pop that cover open. The first one is your full load amps. You're going to want to set that to whatever the breaker was that you replaced, or match it to your motor current with service factor. So you simply turn that to the selection. The other item we're going to do is class. And in this case, for all these breakers, we're going to be class 10. So you just want to move that to 10 on the dial. And then the next one is the trip profile. So here again, we want to set that to number 7. And then you're done. Here's another style breaker that a previous one became obsolete, so you will have a replacement, and you may not have a matching auxiliary contact. So on this breaker, once you have it installed and your wires run, you'll need to install that auxiliary. This little cover here will simply pop out. And you want to install this with the numbers at the top. It'll simply pop in place. And in this case, you'll notice we'll be using the terminals on the right-hand side, and they're labeled 13 and 14. So you're going to want to bring your circuit 18 in one side and your motor overload circuit out the other side. The other item you'll need to check here is to set your amp rating to whatever the starter protector was that you replaced. So here again, you just move the dial to the proper setting that you're matching, or you can look at the motor full load amps plus service factor and set it for that. And there you're done.